You're familiar with the fear-greed index? You ever heard about that?
Yes.
So every month they sort of calculate the sentiment of the country. So when it comes to money, you can either be greedy or fearful. Warren Buffett has basically said, be greedy when people are fearful, or be fearful when people are greedy. Over the last few years during COVID, everyone's been greedy. They're printing money, crypto's going crazy, the stock market's going crazy. Everyone looks like a freaking genius, right? Oh, I bought an NFT for $100,000, it's worth $1 million, but everyone's being greedy. Now, if you look at the fear greed index right now, I haven't actually seen it in a few months. The last time I looked at it, it was closer to greed. We are now in a time of extreme fear. So what does this mean? Obviously, like I said before, Pat, because I've saved that money and I've just been very calculated and I haven't gone and ball out and bought a Lamborghini over the last few years. I could have, but I'm like, you know what? Save. When I've had the opportunity to buy a sick pad, I'm like, you know what? Let me just rent. When I've had an opportunity to buy a dope watch, I'm like, let me buy a Bitcoin, what have you. Now, if you've got your house in order, now's a great time to be greedy.
So were you
while everybody's fearful?
So you were fear. So technically you were fear.
Not
now
me.
You can be greedy.
Not me. But my fear was for what could happen here.
Got you.
Like, again, if you've got, like, so I don't have PBD money, but I'm doing all right, okay?
Yeah.
Like, if I get another zero or so, I'll be on PBD's level, but I've got some zeros. But it all depends on your age and, like, where you're at in life. But
so let me ask you a question. Just, average person listening to this right now, let's say they're either living paycheck to paycheck or they're living a little better than paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
They hear all of this stuff and all they zero in on is, what can I do?
Sure.
All they see is their prices are going up. They can't even get in the car to drive to the grocery store and put gas in their car without it being a problem. Everything is becoming a problem at the most basic levels for these people. So they're saying to themselves, they feel very powerless in situations like this. They don't have a lot of other options. Maybe they didn't have an opportunity to save a bunch of money, so they're sitting on limited options, limited choices right now. So can they do anything? And how much of who wins the next election has to do with this? In other words, let's say Biden is out, somebody else is in. How much is affected when it comes to these deep financial topics that people honestly don't oftentimes have time to dig into? So what does it look like? Let's say it's not Biden.
Yeah.
Well, let's say it's DeSantis. Let's say it's Trump. Paint a different picture.
Well, let me explain to you what happened. So 2015, 2016, when it was between Hillary and Trump, and Wall Street experts came out and they said, we're getting behind Hillary. Hillary's winning. Okay. When that announcement was made, the market tanked.
Wow.
Okay. I don't know if you guys remember this. The market tanked. So I'm in the business, so I saw the market tank because everybody was bracing for impact with what? With Hillary. Okay. But then the day Trump won, under Obama's administration, the last 60 days of Obama being president, the next day the market blew up. If you just go November 4th, whatever the day is, November 3rd, November 4th of 2016. And matter of fact, just pull up November 2016 stock market. That's all I want you to pull up. 2016 stock market, November, okay? Go to it. Go back. Go back and see if you can get the whole month. Anyways, you look for this. You'll see the day. Okay, is that it? Okay, look at that. Look at that right there.
Wow.
Look when the elections are. Drops, concern, boom, it goes up the next couple months because it's the Trump effect. People knew that guy knows how to drive the economy. Okay, so the day Biden was announced that he is, look what happened to the market. Same thing. So the market knows what's going to happen. The market knows what's going to take place. The moment he got in and he said he's going to do what he did with oil right off the bat in January, February when he made that decision, and it was a big pivotal moment of the election where Trump said, okay, hey, oil people, Texas, listen to what he just said.
He warned everybody.
You're going to pay the price for this.
Yep.
Right.
It's very simple. When I was coming up in my early 20s, and all I'm thinking about is I got to make money to retire my dad from working at that 99-cent store in Inglewood. That was the only thing on my mind. I'm like, I got to retire him. My sister's going to go on a nice honeymoon, and I got to pay off my $49,000 of debt. Those were my three main goals that I had, right? I didn't pay attention to politics. I didn't give a shit about who's doing what. I didn't even understand policies, capital. I didn't know none of this stuff, okay? I didn't want to deal with it because politics, my parents got a divorce. I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. Then all of a sudden, I made money. And I said, you better pay attention to this stuff. because you can't just go the rest of your life. Like, you know how sometimes people, like in the world of business, they'll say things like, I'm the vision. I had a guy that I went to in Long Beach. I was consulting with this guy. He says, I'm the visionary. I don't deal with the minutia. I pulled him aside. I said, you can never say something like that if you're the CEO, the founder of this company, because you have to know the minutia, or else you don't know how to manage and drive the minutia. So if somebody wants to be wealthy, but you don't want to pay attention to the economy and the market, you're contradicting yourself. If you want to create wealth, you have to shift the way you look at the economy and the market, because policies have a massive effect. I hope if the last 5-6 years, from 2015 to now, I hope if the last 6-7 years did anything, it got people to pay attention to policies more closely, because it directly impacts your kids. And who do you love more than your kids? Your political party? No. Hopefully it's your kids. If you love your kids more than your political party, start paying attention to what's going on with these policies, because their future is relying on how you vote. Very simple.
That's what I was just getting at too, because these people that feel powerless, I'm always like, there's power in your vote. You can do something. And what I hate is people sitting at home reading these stories and feeling like it's out of my hands. I can't do anything. No matter what I do, I don't have the finances to really make a big difference. But if you know that you go to the voting booth and that has a big effect, and that has a ripple effect out, and that has the potential to create better policies for the economy at large, people feel powerful. I hate when people feel powerless.
I'm going to give you guys a totally different perspective here. And I do agree with Pat, but that's on a macro perspective. Like, I don't give a shit how you vote. If you're not working and saving and getting out of debt, I don't give a shit what policies you agree with, because your house is drowning. So let me address your question specifically. I don't care if I've made money under Biden, I've made money under Trump, I've made money under Obama. Don't care. Okay. But what I'll tell you is this, because I do appreciate what he's saying. Exactly. The policies, printing money, that is a thing. Like that, from a macro perspective, 100%. But also you need to look in the mirror and you need to say, all right, cool. There's a big difference between wants and needs. And what happens is when your wants kind of become your needs, and you develop what's called lifestyle creep. I was making 50, now I'm making 70. So time for me to get a nicer apartment. I was making 100, now I'm making 150.
I feel
time
seen.
For me to
I feel seen,
time
Adam.
for me to get a nicer car. No, I tell people all the time, okay, you got a 20% raise, save that money. So it's on you. So I also say this, there's a big difference between poor and broke. If you're poor and you're a single mother with 2 kids with 2 jobs, there's nothing you can do.
That sucks.
Okay? There's nothing you can do.
Horrible.
Get smarter, read more, like you're not going to make more money. But most people are not poor. Most people are broke. They make 50 grand a year and they spend 55.
But can I ask you a question, Patrick?
Yeah.
And here's my thing, and going off of what you said, Jedediah, everybody says it's happening, and under Joe Biden, my thing is, why are they doing it? And I saw something yesterday where they're like, they've been trying to get rid of the middle class, all these policies, all these things, and it's actually working. I understand what you're saying, but those people that are trying and hustling and doing their thing, those people in the middle, it's going to be either you're rich as hell or you're poor, and that's where it's going. And it drives me crazy, because a lot of these like polls and these stats and percentages, they're like 50% of people, I think that it's going bad. So does that mean 50% of the world of Americans are like, yeah, this is good?
Look,
it's not good.
I don't necessarily agree. Like, at the end of the day, you need to look in the mirror and you need to take accountability for yourself. Okay, like that. I had to take 2 years of my life, sacrifice, you know how it is when you start off in financial sales. You need to eat shit for a couple years. But I went in, I was a fucking party boy in South Beach. I was having a great time, having the time of my life, making zero money. And I said, all right, I can continue down this path of having a great time and just crashing on friends' couches, or I could eat shit for a couple years, buckle down, learn a trade, have a specific, undeniable, inflation-proof skill set, and for the next 15 years, I'm going to make money.
That's true, but the jobs need to exist. So when you're talking about that, single mom, and she's sitting at home with her kid, and you were saying, she doesn't have a lot of options. There's not a lot she can do. Well, there is a lot she can do. She can get a second job potentially. A lot of people dig themselves out of that hole, but those opportunities need to exist. So if you're living in an economy where people are firing instead of hiring because they can't afford it, where you're living in an economy where minimum wage and policies like that come into effect and they prevent people from having opportunities, that's the problem. That's why the macro
what's that
level
lady's skill set? I'm sorry. If you don't have a skill, you're replaceable. If you're making $15 an hour.
It doesn't matter. Let's say, I don't know what her skill set is, but but let's say it's minimal. She can still get a second job. She can still do something. She can still do something.
A lot of things.
There are people who climb from the very bottom of the bottom up, but those opportunities have to exist in the society they live in.
Yeah.
Because if you go out and you want to get a second job and there are no second jobs because no one's hiring, because the economic climate sucks, you're in trouble. That's when you're really in trouble.
I hear you.
I get it about saving. I get it.
No, but I'm not even saying saving. It's, you know what? We're in America here. Go to any other place in the world and give that little spiel. They'll be like, I'm just trying to survive. We're still in America here. We're still the greatest superpower in the world, still to this day. You know, knock on wood, hopefully China doesn't surpass us anytime soon. It might happen. But still, like, look where you are in the world. God bless America, and God bless the fact that you could choose and to become whatever you want in this life. And you could always, I'm not saying that you are, but you could always play the victim role. The economy sucks, and Joe Biden and gas. But at some point,
you need. That's not a victim. That's just reality.
Yeah,
if people are not hiring, and you're looking and you're grinding and you're hustling. I mean, I know people right now trying to find work that are having a really hard time. Their skill sets are pretty high.
What'd they do over the last 3 years, though? What'd they do?
Some of them got fired because they wouldn't get a jab, and now they're stuck. I mean, there's a lot of lockdowns. Look what they did. I know people who work their whole life to start businesses in a place like New York City, build that business up, feeling great. Lockdown. They can't handle being closed for 3 months. They pick up. They have to go to a new city. They have kids to support. People are in circumstances now that we haven't seen in a really long time. All I'm saying is that if you have someone at the very top of the heap that's not creating policies that trickle opportunity down, and people feel like they have limited options, that's going to decrease their ability to climb out of a hole. No question. No matter how motivated they are or not, these policies do have an effect on individuals. That macro hits the micro.
If you're a small business, I 1,000% agree with you. But most people aren't small business owners. How many small businesses are in America?
Adam, I will tell you, both of you guys are right. Here's what's crazy about both of you are right. You're right, and she's right. Okay, this is a documentary that came out in 2008. It was with David Walker, the former Comptroller General of the U.S. I brought him out to an event in 2011. He's like the CFO of America is who he was for like 10 or 12 years. Okay, David Walker. There's a scene in it which is powerful. A lady who's a single mother asks Warren Buffett, "Hey, what do I do? I'm in this situation. I'm going through this financially. I'm going through that. What do I do to change my life right now? Because I don't know how to come out of this." He sits there and says, "Look, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be ugly. But here's what I will tell you. Go increase your market value." That's what you need. And by the way, this is 08. So if you remember 08, and by the way, if you haven't seen this documentary, go see it, because it pretty much shows what we're about to go through. It breaks it down. Exactly what we're about to go through. This documentary breaks on IOUSA with David Walker. First time I was introduced to this guy was by a couple named Dean and Dina Fliss, who are very successful financial folks. But so you're right. Regardless, it's your responsibility to go out and make money and do something with it. But she's right. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Leaders' policies affect people's lives. So it's kind of like saying, well, no matter how bad of a father you had, you can still go out there and make it. You're right. But hey, people with better fathers, they have a really big impact on kids' lives. You're right. Do you get what I'm saying? So
everyone has a different starting point.
There's truth in both, and we have to keep pushing both messages. Do something with your life. Can we have better policies?
That's right.
I think both ways we need to hold.
Well, and to go back to your point, I said Pat gave you the macro perspective. Policies, Fed, interest rates. Listen, there's things that matter, and there's things that you can control. You need to focus on where those two things intersect. Things that matter and things that you can control. Breaking news, you're not going to control interest rates. You're not going to do it. No matter what you do, but you can control, all right, cool, I made $5,000 this month. How much I'm going to spend on rent? How much I'm going to do on a car payment? By the way, it's summer. Everyone's planning on going on vacation.
Right.
By the way, everyone just got their tax refund. You got $3,000 back from tax refund. This is what I talked about: wants versus needs. What are you going to do with that $3,000? You're going to go on vacation? You're going to Mykonos?
Yeah.
You're going to St. Bart's? You're going to Niagara Falls? Or you're just going to, you know what? Let me pay off my debt. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. You have choices. You have options. Yeah. We're still in America, baby. Yeah.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.